Well, all right. Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Berlino here in the world famous As It Should Be archives. Yeah, and well, it's time for another random record pool video. I haven't done one of those in a while, and thus this will be the first one I've ever done in the archives. I've done a few, 2 or 3, however many random record pool videos, but I've done them only in the world famous As It Should Be studios. Well, here I have many more records to choose from. So, yeah, so I thought it would be fun to do a random record pool here and get a little bit of, fresh blood or vinyl, or whatever the hell, fresh vinyls. Yeah. Yeah. So, why don't I just get right on it? I have myself a little blindfold here to make it legit. I'm gonna do 10. I'm gonna do 10 albums, and we'll see how long that goes. If I get through those quickly, maybe I'll do more to make it a longer video. But yeah, I'm planning to do 10. Okay. All right. So here we go. Okay, what do I have here? Oh, the first Ramones album. Yeah, the first Ramones album. Well, here, let me have a closer look with my glasses here. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I thought this was, for a second there, I thought this was a reissue. I don't remember. I actually, I don't think I have a reissue, but just it looks so, honestly, I'll be honest, it looks so nice and clean that I thought this must be a reissue. But no, this is a legit OG copy that I have. Let's see, what do we have here? The inner sleeve. Ooh, see, there you go. That's the way the dorks do it. Put the record in one of these sleeves and put the inner sleeve in like it's an insert. But, yeah, man, this is a really nice copy, too. I think I have 2 copies of the first Ramones album, both 70s copies of the record. I mean, I always want to say original pressings. I don't know if they're actually straight up original pressings, but they're 70s pressings. And this one's pretty damn nice, except this sticker here, whoever the previous owner was. Outside of that, it's actually a really, really nice copy. There's no ring wear. It's not dirty. It's not, the spine's beautiful. Yeah, and luckily I bought this back when you could buy it for next to nothing. I mean, this record now, this record now is very expensive, and I honestly, I don't even want to even think about how much I would have to spend to try to replace this now. But yeah, Stone Classic, the Ramones' first album. Okay, let's go for another one here. Gotta feel the vibes, man. Go down. Gonna take it down. Okay. I have one. What do I have here? Oh. Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark. Promo. I think, is this a white label? Damn. White label. I didn't even realize I had a white label of this. I did a white label video here in the world famous As It Should Be archives a while back, and I went through all my records and I pulled every one that I could remember that I had, but there's some that I didn't realize I had. Yeah, I guess I have a white label of Court and Spark. Ooh, okay. This is really great. This is going to be an edit while I put the record back. But all right. Yeah, so fuck. That's pretty... I mean, now that I see it, I kind of remember that this isn't a total mystery to me. I've discovered some records in here going through where it's just like, I don't remember where I'm getting this or where I got it. I mean, there are records that even when I find them and look at them, I'm like, I don't know where this came from. This, now that I look at it, I do recall having it, but I totally forgot that it was there. And you know, this album, I know it's like the most popular. Well, Blue these days is probably the most popular one, but in the in the big picture, this has historically been like the big popular Joni Mitchell album. I love it. It's my favorite. Yeah, I like it more than Blue. I like it more than you know any of the other ones. Really, what's down to is just it's like a perfect combination of Joni's esoteric sort of style with lots of jazz chords and jazzy changes, but accessible and pop at the same time. It's a perfect elixir in my book, and Help Me is one of my favorite fucking songs of all time by anybody. It's absolute perfection. And yeah, a white label of this. All right, so the next one. I'm gonna go up high. I'm gonna go high. Going high. Oh, Crazy Horses. Wow, wow. Yeah, the Osmonds, Crazy Horses. Oh man, damn, and a pretty nice copy of this. Oh, okay. That's the Osmond Sleep. Yeah, I first got hip to this record in the early 90s. My friend Sean, shout out to my friend Sean. I mentioned him on some videos. He's the guy basically who turned me on to all the stuff that I got. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I got into in the early 90s. He's the one that kind of, hit me to a lot of the 90s bands. Like, bands like Nirvana. The only reason I was into I wasn't into them, but the only reason why I knew about these bands before they were popular is because he was into them. The only reason I knew about Urge Overkill and Robin Hitchcock or any of that stuff is because Sean was exposing me to this stuff. Well, he also exposed me to this through Red Cross, because he's the one who turned me on to Red Cross, and Red Cross did a cover of Crazy Horses in 89, 90, something like that. And that was the first version of the song I heard. Then I was actually with him at a thrift store one day, and I found this, and I picked it up, and man, this is a stellar album. If you guys, a lot of people I think have heard Crazy Horses, the song, by now, but this is a really great album all the way through, because the Osmonds, of course, they came out, they were early, kind of barbershop quartet-y kind of thing when they were kids, and then they kind of came back again around, Jackson 5 period, trying to do sort of a Jackson 5 knockoff thing. But after 2 or 3 albums of that, they kind of took control and started making records on their own, but they were writing the songs, playing the instruments, and producing and stuff. And this is like the first big one where they did that, like the first one where they completely did it by themselves, and it's absolutely great. There's a song in there that sounds like Badfinger. There's some kind of Beatley stuff, some really great riffy hard rock stuff, like some really great epic ballad stuff. I really recommend this. If you aren't a fan of the Osmonds, or you always thought they were just kind of like this, bubblegum One Bad Apple kind of thing, have a listen to this. A really great record. Okay, now for the next one. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft. The first H.P. Lovecraft. So I'm not that knowledgeable about H.P. Lovecraft. They have more than one album, right? But this is like kind of if you're gonna find one in the wild, this is gonna be the one. If you have one album by them, this is it. Pretty clean copy. Nice spines, a little bit of ring wear. I don't know this album that well. It's just one of those albums that I've just had for decades, that I have listened to, but I think I never went through a period where I listened to it a lot. I never listened to it enough to really get to know it. yeah, so I don't really have a lot to say about this album, but hey, look, I have one. That's kind of basically, I just have it. It's just in here. There you go, H.P. Lovecraft. Okay. Let's go. Okay. I don't know, should I go mid? I already went high. Should I go mid? Should I go low? Maybe I'm gonna go low. Oh! Transformer, Lou Reed. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Wow, it's a pretty nice... Damn, this is a nice, clean copy of this. I actually have an absolutely sparkling, beautiful copy of this record in the world famous Statue Should Be Studios with like Shrink and the fucking hype sticker and the whole thing. That I bought. I mean, I bought it like just before the prices went completely like into outer space. I paid like maybe $25 for it or something like that, which for this and Shrink and hype sticker is basically, yeah, is a steal. Yeah, well, this is a copy that I've actually had for a long time. I've had this for decades. No Shrink and hype sticker, of course, but it's actually really, really nice. This album, recently, just like this past week, as I'm shooting this, I'm not sure when I'm going to put it up, but as I'm shooting this, this past weekend, the Vinyl Community Gunkles, shout out to the Gunkles, one of my favorite channels, they did a Lou Reed ranking video where they each chose their top 5 Lou Reed albums, and most of them ended up putting this album at number 2. Yeah, which... Who would see this coming, right? You take for granted, like, well, of course, everybody just across the board is going to have Transformers number 1, right? They did not. Most of them had it number 2. Well, I'm probably never going to do a Lou Reed ranking. I might possibly do a top 10 or top 5 or something like that, maybe, but whatever. Spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you right now, I also have this at number 2. This is also my number 2 Lou Reed album. I'm not going to tell you what I have above it. The Gunkles know, though, because I told them. So don't go look at the comments on their video, or else you're going to find out. But yeah, I have this at number 2. But come on. I mean, what a classic to end all classics. Yeah. Anyway. Lou Reed, Transformer. Can't go wrong. All right. Next up. Let's go over here. Let us go over here. I'm gonna go down. Okay, what do we have here? Oh. Mike's Murder. The Mike's Murder soundtrack by Joe Jackson. I love Joe Jackson. This record's okay. I've only listened to it a handful of times. This kind of goes in the category with the H.P. Lovecraft album. I have listened to it more than once. I like it, but I never really listened. I never went through a period where I listened to it enough to really get to know it. It's just sort of, it's just, a perfectly fine, like, record to have to kind of make sure that your Joe Jackson collection is complete. I'm a completist. Well, somewhat. Generally, I'm a completist, but sometimes I do find periods of certain artists where I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like late Bee Gees or late Stones or late Stevie Wonder, But yeah, this is not one of his best records or anything, but I like it. And I don't really remember most of the songs off the top of my head, but whatever. It's in the collection because I love Joe. Oh, And I have the hype sticker. I put the hype sticker on the plastic. Okay. All right. On to the next one. I'm gonna go middle this time. Oh. Emmett Rhodes, yeah, the Emmett Rhodes self-titled first solo album. This is a great record, as pretty much most record geeks, especially power pop record geeks, know. This is an absolutely great album. This is one of the best McCartney albums that McCartney never made. Yeah, this pretty much, it's kind of like, if you're into that Ram era McCartney or whatever, you're gonna love this record. He does McCartney better than McCartney on this. I think he had 3 albums in the 70s. He signed some sort of crazy contract where he was expected to make records at some sort of breakneck, like Elton John on cocaine, sort of speed, as it were. Yeah, they wanted him to do like 2 albums a year, and he just did not have it in him to do that. He did 3 albums. And he did not do them anywhere near as quickly as the label wanted, and he just that's kind of why he vanished, because he just kind of like hit the wall and was like, man, I cannot do this, and and holed up in his little house and wherever he lived in LA. Did he live in Hawthorne or wherever he lived? But really, even though he had 2 other albums that came after this in the 70s, none of them touched this. This is like an absolute masterpiece. And of course, as you know, or many probably know, Emmett Rhodes is originally the front guy and singer and songwriter of the Merry-Go-Round, who were the band who had the hit Live, which the Bangles did a cover of and had kind of a hit with, right? Great track, great album this. I'm sure you've probably seen it 1,000 times at record swaps, maybe even at thrift stores back in the day. If you ever run into this and you're a Beatles fan, you like McCartney kind of, melodic kind of shit, do pick this up. Absolutely pick it up. I money back guarantee. Okay, here we go. Another. The Hollies with Bus Stop, and it's a stereo copy. I wonder if I don't know if I have a mono copy or not. Looks like it's a little bit of little warped. There's almost like a little bit of I don't know if it's really water damage. I guess of sorts. Yeah, the cover has seen better days, but outside of this little bit of warping, the cover's actually in pretty decent shape. The record's all right. Yeah, this is the American version, so it's shorter, and a bunch of the songs are cut off. Well, actually, I don't know what the UK equivalent of this is, because the UK equivalent wouldn't have Bus Stop on it, because in the UK they wouldn't have had the singles, right? But in the US, not only did they put the single on, but they open up the album with it. They're not fucking around. But there's a little bit of filler on an album like this. You have a cover of "I'm a Rock" by Simon & Garfunkel, Mickey's Monkey, Sweet Little 16. But that's all right. And it's so funny when I look at this cover. Graham Nash, he decided, he was going to leave the band behind. They weren't hip enough for him. He was too hip and too, progressive for these guys. Look at this cover. He's easily the dorkiest one in the shot. I mean, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't look all that hip or ahead of all those guys at this point. But he probably hadn't done the right drugs yet, right? But either way, Bus Stop, one of the greatest singles of the 60s. One of the greatest singles ever by any band. I mean, it's absolutely exquisite, and the Hollies are an incredible band. I wish their albums were a little bit better all the way through, but I mean, you know, it's fucking Hollies. Give them a break. Okay. Next up. I'm gonna go way low down here. I'm pretty sure that's the metal section I just grabbed from. Sure enough, I have I get to the Z's down there, and then I have a little bit of a metal section at the end. I knew that's what I was grabbing, and well, Iron Maiden Number of the Beast. Yeah, Iron Maiden Number of the Beast. Pretty nice. Yeah, pretty nice copy. Let me see, does it have... Oh, it does. It does have the order form. Yeah, it has the order form. And the inner sleeve with the lyrics and all the photos. Is there anything else in here? Nope. Yeah, Iron Maiden Number of the Beast, the first album with Bruce Dickinson. Not my favorite album of theirs with Bruce Dickinson. That would be Peace of Mind, and of course the Paul Di'Anno albums are the best ones as far as I'm concerned. Well, yeah, I've talked about this before. Peace of Mind will always be my favorite because it was the first one I bought, so it kind of, you know, it runs a little deeper there. But generally, I'm more of a Paul Di'Anno guy. This one is really well loved, but for some reason, out of the first 5, this is probably my least favorite. Still a great record, but I mean, what do we have here? Oh, okay, I thought it was gonna have a bunch of merchandise that I could go over with. I mean, you know, if you want a wristband, I mean, how much is it? Like $2.99 or something? I mean, yeah. Anyway, I mean, Maiden, dude. Okay, next one. What? Oh. Well. It's Hard by The Who. It's Hard by The Who. You know, when this record came out, I was so obsessed with The Who. And so I loved this album at the time. I mean, even then, at the time loving the album, I knew it was no Who's Next. I knew it was no Quadrophenia, but I really loved it. I loved Athena, It's Your Turn, Cry If You Want. I actually really still like those songs, but I mean, what else do we have? Cooks County, you know, the title track is really lame. Dangerous is alright. Eminence Front, the video version. Remember there was an MTV video with Eminence Front that it was just them playing the song live in a sound check? That version killed the studio version. And I heard that version first, and so when I got the album and heard the studio version, it sounded so completely awful compared to that version, and so I never really liked to listen to the studio version of this. But One Life's Enough, I've known no war. Yeah, most of side 2 isn't that great, but I really love Cry If You Want is the closing track on this. Great track. Yeah. Whatever. Not a great Who album. Obviously, it didn't exactly age well. But when I was 12, when it came out, absolutely worshiping The Who, I was perfectly happy with it. What are you gonna do? All right. Next one. Next up. Go over here. Oh, this is the classique. You may have seen it actually, but Blonde on Blonde. Yeah, Blonde on Blonde. And this is, it's an OG with the girl, you know, the mysterious girl. And is this And it's a mono copy. Mono copy. Yeah. So this is an OG mono blonde on blonde. Edit while I put this back. Yeah, so blonde on blonde. You know, I first heard this album in the 80s on CD. I actually didn't buy a record first. I bought the CD, and that's how and when I got familiar with it. But, you know, and then I probably bought, you know, a $3 copy or something used. It was probably a 60s one, but it definitely wasn't this. It wasn't a mono. I don't know if it had, you know, the original girl photo inside, but as I recall, it was actually not a very good copy, kind of scratchy or whatever. But over time, I ended up finding some really good copies, including this. Like, this is a pretty good copy of this. Yeah, you know, I don't exactly know when I bought this particular copy, but it's really not in bad condition. I mean, mono, the original, you know, original gatefold photos. Yeah. How much does this go for now? It's probably a lot. There was a really, really great... There was a really great reissue of this, maybe about 10 years ago or so. I remember running into it that was just like spot on, like to the point where, like it had the original 2i label inside, and it was really beautiful. I believe it was a mono, and I ran into one in a store that was a new one, but somebody had opened it, like they had unsealed it. So I pulled it out and looked at it, and it was really just like. It was really cool. It was like just like a perfectly brand new replica of the original one, but it was $50, and I was like, I didn't really want to pay that much for it. But yeah, it was kind of really cool to see that. But I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's blonde on blonde. I mean, what do I need to tell you about blonde on blonde? Nothing. You know all about it. All right, so that concludes this installment of the Random Record Pool in the world famous As You Should Be archives. Okay, all right. Well, thank you everybody for watching these videos, and thank you for everybody who has subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, you know, you probably should click the little bell so you can get little notifications that tell you when my videos come out. And yeah, come back this Thursday. Come back this Thursday because Crystal Durant and Tommy Von Voort are going to be back in the world famous As You Should Be studios, and we're going to continue our Albums of the Year series. And this year, I don't know, or this week, I don't know what we're doing because I'm shooting this ahead of time, but you know because it's right here. Yeah. So you know more than I do. You have the inside track. This is what we're doing this week on Thursday. All right, so come back this week and see that. All right, I will see you guys soon. No, I'm not going to do that one. That one, I'm simply not doing that one. Nah, I'm not feeling that row. Well.